What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Witch's Craft. This week, it's going to be something totally different, something that gets talked about every so often, but doesn't really get a full scope of attention. So today, we're actually going to be working with sigils. And once again, I'm joined by Gwen Thomas, and this is our first time going live. So yes, awesome. If you guys are watching, please continue. Please give us a like. Please give us a comment. And so, Gwen, you want to tell us a little bit about what's going on this week, and we'll get to the the crystal of the week, or the stone of the week, a little bit later. But Gwen, tell us what's going on.
Well, clearly we're going to do some sigil magic here, which is fun because you know what? I don't know that much about it. So this is going to be a learning experience for me too. And if you're noticing, we're not broadcasting on the Witch's Craft because for some weird technical glitch, I have to put it onto the Avalon Visions page, but it will be cross-posted over there because I will share that to that. So it'll be shared. So basically, a lot of people don't necessarily know, but today is the first day of Mercury retrograde. Woohoo! Which basically means that people panic and they don't shop and they don't spend things. And here's the thing: a lot of people don't believe in the significance of it, and that's okay. But a lot of people, plenty of people do. And there's, obviously astronomers just go, the planet is going backwards. So it's not going backwards. It's like, it looks like it is. So it has that appearance. So it's a perfect time to make sigils because a lot of things happen in Mercury retrograde. And I want to put up this photo over here. I'm just going to add this to the stage. This is my favorite other website, which is mercuryretrograde.com, where it's the actual website is how I know when things are weird. I go I wonder if it's Mercury retrograde. And it has two settings, Joe. Two settings. It says yes, that may account for the weirdness, or no, something else must be bumming you out. So it's and I'm pretty sure it's put up by astronomers just because, because that's a sense of humor there. Anyway, so what a lot of people think about Mercury retrograde is that it can affect everything from communication breakdowns to relationship turmoils, misunderstandings with friends and loved ones. And, they think of it as like a cosmic static that interferes in, normal patterns of communication. And there's also another theory that it can right imbalances. So if something's been going wrong for a long time, there you have it. So this July, it's falling in July. By the way, I think it goes retrograde for 3 weeks, something like 4 times a year. And what this July, it's apparently, it's sort of like everything is supposed to show up in the wrong place, exactly the wrong time. Apparently this July, it's especially interesting because it really starts with the beginning of Leo, meaning that it's going to screw with me a bit more than sometimes. It's considered the cosmic blooper. It's going to be embarrassing, messy, unpredictable. It won't ruin your life, but it'll make sure you stay humbled. It's considered like a little aggressive lesson. And there's a website that is, why is Mercury retrograde so dramatic this time? And I got some of that off of them. In reality, if you look at what's happening on the political side, and of course, I have to go there, right? That's what everybody knows about me. I have to just get in there with that. So if you think about it, you've got Trump and Epstein, and all the stuff is coming up, and his base is going, just show us the documents. Well, there's your miscommunication. They're not trying to do that. So it's kind of going to get messy, and it's going to be humbling, and he has lost some popularity. And that is the kind of stuff, folks, that Mercury retrograde is famous for. And it starts a little bit before and goes a little bit after. So it should be rather entertaining. And if you're thinking about this, like, typically, not everybody follows this belief system. I certainly didn't believe in it until I realized, like, I had this pattern, like, improvement in sales. Oh, no big sales. And then someone would come in about halfway. Oh, well, it's been Mercury retrograde. What did you expect? And it's like, because people that are into this don't buy things. They don't, it's a whole thing. So it does affect me, whether it should or not, just based on others' belief systems, if nothing else. And one of the cool things is not everybody is going to agree with this, but those who do would probably agree that this is the ideal time to come up with some things that would be protective and give us a little extra help. And, Joe.
Because yeah, because I mean, even if
Yeah.
even if you don't believe in it, I mean, you hear about it enough to where the thought kind of starts to creep in. So it's like, this might be a good time to kind of create something, but you don't quite know what to do with it. That's funny. I mean, I'm kind of thinking, like, even if it's not like on a political level, even if it's on like a personal level, hey, maybe you're showing up to that bar where like your ex happens to show up, and it's like that's an awkward moment right there, So it's like you kind of want to move away from that. That's your Mercury retrograde right there. It's like, now, okay, you're in like this awkward moment. All right, so, so things like that. But no, like a lot of people, like seriously speaking, a lot of people don't really fall into that. It's like, okay, whatever happens, that's what's intended to happen, and you just kind of roll with it, just kind of work with it. While that can be true, you can still provide some kind of protection for yourself. Even if you're not going to successfully protect against whatever situation you find yourself in, you can still create something to where the effect of whatever that is going to be lessened. And that's kind of where we are with the idea of the sigils today. I mean, it's not really going to be about the Mercury retrograde, but I mean, there are so many other situations, whether you want to create a bubble of protection for yourself, for a loved one, even for your neighbors. I mean, we have so much going on right now, so much going on where so many people are being affected. We have people being struck for immigration. We have people being struck for being LGBTQ. Any little thing, really, at this point, it's to where it's really a gambit. Just existing is a gambit.
Yep.
Existing in any category, or just any different frame of mind, that can instantly either put a target on your back, or it puts you in a particular group that is deemed, well, who knows? It could be unfit for society, or it can be, well, really, that's what it comes down to. So, what we are really focusing on today is a bit of chaos magic. that we'll go into the history a bit. We'll go into the traditional practices. What it comes down to, honestly, though, with sigils, it's a form of magic that you can use at the drop of a hat if you need it right away. Or if you have that intention that you really want to set forth for the near future, it can help. So, uh, again, you can have anything from communications breakdown. You can have people that are being taken away. Any little thing. Uh, so it can work either way as a form of preventive magic, or it can also work as a form of reactive magic. And it all depends on your interpretation of it. And that's what magic is. It's constantly changing. Um, it all depends on the intent of the person, right? So
Um,
again, once again, keep in mind, uh, not everyone follows the same belief system, and that's totally okay. That's fine. We just wanted to use the idea of Mercury retrograde as a springboard for the practice of drawing upon your own miniature form of chaos magic, and that's exactly what sigils are. So, um, before we go into that, before we go into like really explaining what they are, Gwen, I believe you have the stone of the week ready to go.
I
You want to
do.
have that, so we can explain how that can actually be used to boost your sigil magic, and then we'll go into an explanation as to what it is.
And of course, along with that, I have my handy dandy crystal Bible, the best Bible, right? Here it is, which I'm going to open to. What's the best stone for clearing spaces, folks? Citrine. And I do have samples. So, natural citrine, I don't know if you can see this, it looks a bit like this. And there's some up on my website, which is if you type in citrine, it also looks like this. This is actually pretty natural in color. It's supposed to be natural citrine, and I think it is, although somebody once told me this was dyed, and I don't think so. But that's beside the point. It came up a big chunk and kind of I wound up with one little piece of it. So citrine is this stone that you can put next to things to clear it out. You can put it in the corners of your room to, like keep the energy good. It's good for abundance. You can put it in your pocket. And if you go over to avalonvisionsproducts.com and you type in citrine, well, or just look in the stone catalog part, you will find citrine in abundance. It makes a good pendulum. It's very hard. It's a kind of quartz, so it's a stone that you could put in a fish tank even if you wanted to, and it wouldn't harm anybody. But what is it that the Crystal Bible says about it? Which would be like, I like the Crystal Bible. So it's yellow to brownish or smoky gray brown. There's actually a smoky citrine, and then there's a smoky quartz, and they're a little bit different in shade. So it says, and I quote, "It's a powerful cleanser and regenerator, carrying the power of the sun." So it's a good stone for the summer, right? It's an exceedingly beneficial stone. It's warming, energizing, and highly creative. This is one of the stones that never needs cleansing. It absorbs, transmutes, dissipates, and grounds negative energy. And it is therefore extremely protective for the environment. It energizes every level of the life as an aura protector. And we're going to talk about auras coming up, not this next one, but that's my expertise. Joe knows that. So it's an aura protector. It acts as an early warning system so that action can be taken to protect oneself. It has the ability to cleanse the chakras, especially the solar plexus and navel chakras. It activates the crown chakras, opens up intuition, and it cleanses and balances subtle bodies, aligning them with the physical. It also has, for healing, it mentions that it's good for degenerative disease. It helps with digestion and spleen. And so one of the things with stones is that if you have a, okay, so you figure like where in your body is this color if you're looking at the chakras? Well, it's kind of right around your solar plexus, which means it's a solar plexus stone.
Mhm.
And even if, and I'm, if you do martial arts, when you hit in the solar plexus, it like really takes takes the air out of you, right? Anybody that study that a little bit even knows this. So when you deal with a stone that is kind of in that golden yellow, it's very effective at being protective, generally speaking. It's one of the reasons why tiger's eye, which has a lot of that color, is also a grounding and protective stone. But you can, put a piece like this in your pocket. You can put a little chip in your wallet. It's good for abundance because it helps keep things off you that are negatively affecting you. So we like citrine. Citrine's the go-to. I know so many people that just like, oh, did you put citrine on your register? Don't forget to do that. Yeah, we've got some. It's there, and when if you're doing, again, and if you're doing like work to like clear space, like say you've got some sort of residual negative energies, whether it's, you can believe or not believe in haunting, but if you have something like that, that's another, throwing some in the corner. It's kind of like right up there with, oh, you want some citrine? You can obviously go into my into my store catalog and get some citrine, but throw it in the corners of your room. 4 nice little pieces, a little some around your bed. The other thing about citrine is it's a very it does help to clear other stones. Selenite's good too, but citrine is like one of those things where you don't have to go and wash it or bury it or clean it off in the if you get a piece of citrine, it's probably going to be okay. And I don't even know how anyone would overwrite its natural tendencies of being good. So for sure, I think it's a great stone, and I know a lot of practitioners that swear by it, and we always have some, and you don't need a lot, right? So if you're doing sigil magic and you keep a little bit of citrine with you, but that would kind of enhance it. What do you think, Joe?
I mean, there's quite a few stones that are going to enhance your magic, but definitely citrine is going to be one of those that like really takes it to that extra level. So, I mean, and again, if you guys ever have a chance to go visit Gwen at Avalon Visions, she's gonna have that. She's gonna have exactly what you
Yeah.
need
Right.
to really kind of build up your spell work.
And if you're
So,
not local, look online. Look on my online store.
exactly. There you go.
A
So,
lot of times when people source on online, right, they don't necessarily know where it's coming from, but my online store does a really good job of like knowing where those things are coming out of, and there's usually something available. Maybe
now
it's
I
not a
actually,
pendulum, but it's got to be something that works.
yeah, now I think I actually do have a really large piece of citrine, and if I'm not mistaken, I actually got it from Avalon Visions.
You probably did.
So
Was it rough cut like this, or was it a smooth like a?
it was rough cut. It was
Oh,
rough cut,
I
so I'm
had
pretty
some really
sure.
nice pieces for a while, but you got one of those. I think you did actually.
Well, see, there you go. There you go. If you guys need it, Gwen's gonna have it for you. And if she doesn't have it right away, she's really,
Oh,
really good about
yeah,
ordering it for you. So
pretty good usually.
yeah.
Or just go online and
So,
that works too.
all right. So here's the part where we get into the actual spell work for today. Now, um, getting back to the idea of sigils. You might see them, and you might not notice that you're actually looking at them, but
Mhm.
they're around. So just kind of get an idea of what they are. These are symbols. These are symbols that are drawn, they're created, they're placed in certain areas to bring forth an intention. So, uh, as we mentioned, Mercury retrograde. Okay, so some people might actually be creating these sigils for protection against that. Can that be the only purpose? No. There can be any kind of intention, any kind of situation that really calls for a little extra oomph, and that's where sigils really come into play. There was a point during really hard times, and this is actually kind of where they originated. During hard times, there were farmers that used these symbols. They would paint them on their barn doors or wherever their property started. They would paint them, and these symbols were intended to bring fortune, bring abundance to their homes. And so, thankfully, that practice has not really just kind of evolved, but it's also just kind of it's continued. That's the beauty of it. So, I mean, today we adapt. We have new challenges to overcome. We have new intentions that we want to really create, and that's where these sigils come in. So what is it really? The etymology of the word is really derived from Latin, so it comes from sigilia or later sigilium, both of which mean a sign, a mark, an image, or a seal. So these are images that not only hold some significance of identity, because again, it depends on the person. Um, these are again like a form of chaos magic. And chaos magic is about using whatever ideas and practices are helpful to you in the moment. So even though it sounds worse than what it really is, it's really just kind of the practice of using magic at the drop of a hat. So there's one particular definition from Ray Sherwin. This is he's one of the original driving forces behind the chaos magic, and it says the magician acknowledges a desire, so you have that intention. He lists the appropriate symbols and arranges them into an easily visualized graph, or I'm sorry, glyph. And using any of the Gnostic techniques here, he refines the sigil and then, by force of will, hurls it into subconscious, where the sigil can begin to work unencumbered by desire. So, literally, what happens is that you can create this. You have this intention. Let's say, for example, if you find yourself in a work situation that doesn't feel safe, or something that you want to bring yourself out of, you can create this intention using the techniques that I'm about to show you guys. You can create the symbol that is infused with your power, infused with your intention. You can create it. Once it's created, it's really just a matter of leaving it alone. Let it do what it's meant to do. And like I said, it could be at the drop of a hat. That's why it's called chaos magic. So it's nothing that is really preconceived, nothing that is really just like thought about in the long run, nothing that you would have thought about for like a month, maybe longer. It's just like, okay, I need something right away, something that's really going to help. And so you can create this image, create this symbol, infuse it with your intention, and then just let it be. So the main thing is that you don't want to sacrifice the potency of it. So once you create it, let it do its thing, and just that's it. Just let it run, let it run, let it run. And as we've seen in other practices, you can cast your magic, your intention into a fire, into water, into the elements. You can bury it, but the idea is that you leave it alone to do its thing, and that's the part that people really forget. Once you cast your magic, let it be. Trust that it's going to work as it's meant to. Um, so the main thing is that you want to be very specific when you're creating this. When you're creating this, you want to be very specific about the intention that you're putting out. So just as with all other magical workings, you want to pay the closest attention to the details. For example, I mean, if you want to bring in abundance, you want to bring in fortune. You also want to include the details that you don't want to include anything, or you don't want to receive it by any ill-gotten means. So it's like, yes, you can bring in abundance, you can bring in a good fortune, but if you're not careful, that fortune might come from, say, a traffic accident. And you don't want people getting hurt. You just want to make sure that you are bringing in something positive without any kind of negative situation attached to it. So you also don't want to come in to this working with the sense of I need this, because that's going to come from a sense of desperation and a very low vibration. So instead, you want to come at it from a perspective of you already have this. You already have this intention manifested. So when you do it, you want to say, I am prosperous. I already have this. I am protected. We are protected. Okay. So with that in mind, let's see what this actually looks like. So if you guys are okay with that, I'm gonna actually not give you guys my full back, but since I have my drawing surfaces here, you're gonna see the back of my head for a little bit. So I apologize for that. Okay, so let's say, for example, that you want to bring in some kind of protection spell. You want to protect so and so. So you can say, please protect we're going to say beloved for this case. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this. So it says, please protect my beloved.
Yep, it's visual.
Okay,
so it's a little light, but you know, it's good. It's readable, Joe.
Yay, perfect. So here's what you want to do, and this is like the basic practice. All right. So what you want to do is take every letter once. So you have the P. You can strike that out. L, E, and then as you go, you can go ahead and strike out, because you don't really want it to repeat itself. You can. Usually it's best if you don't, because you kind of focus on each individual letter. So A, S, you got those right there. You got another E right there. R, Knock that out right there. O, P, M, Y, B, L is already there, O is already there, B, and D. All right, so you still have all of these letters to go by, okay? And that intention still, it keeps, because what you're going to develop is with that intention, you're going to protect the people that you love or the person that you love the most. So now you have letters that you can work with. Now here's the beauty of it. Some of these can actually be combined. So you don't have to include every single letter. So, for example, here, I'm going to use a straight line. That can include the B, I'm sorry, the P, the L, the E, R, T, B, and the D. So you can combine those into one. All right. So now I'm going to include the curve right here of the R and the P, and maybe go this way. This will be the O right there. You can have the straight letters or the straight markings of the T right there. And also, by the way, this curve right here can include the S. So this is basically simplifying every single letter. And once you actually begin to put those together, you can add your different designs to it. So I like to add a little flair to it and add the other little letters or the other sticks that mark the E. I can mark the A right here. And then, last but not least, I can add the little accents, which I like to do. So you can have a little dot here, a little dot here up top, and then a little dot here on the side. And there you go. You have your sigil right there. And I'm going to go ahead and highlight it a little bit better so it actually can be seen a little bit more. So, right there. Oops. All right. So we're going to fill this in as well. Fill this in over here. Fill this in right there. Now, oops. There we go. Mercury retrograde working its thing right there. So, all right. So we have here just a simple symbol that still represents the idea. Please protect my beloved. You've worked everything in. And now what happens here? Once you create that symbol, once you create the working, you can, of course, create it on something smaller. You can fold it, put it away. You can burn it. You can do whatever you feel represents you in the moment. You can go ahead and just let it work. Let it do its thing. So, I'm going to work another example here. All right. So, this is going to be another example here, and yeah, by the way, that's gonna have some some magic to it. And I'll go ahead and take care of that later. Right now it's raining, so I might actually put that underneath the rain.
Okay.
And that could just actually help wash away not so much the intention, but wash away everything that is creating the barrier. If you want to put that into your magic, like, okay, I want this to flow out. I want this to be unencumbered. I want this to actually flow naturally back to me. That's how it can work. So, Gwen, what's anything in particular that you think we might actually create a sigil for? What kind of a situation here?
Well, I would love to. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure that one can create a sigil for. I just was getting more paper out of my thing and out of the printer, and I was putting the thing back together incorrectly. I got it though. I would imagine that you could create sigils for pretty much abundance. I have my real estate license on the side, folks. I'd love to sell a house. I bet I could do one for that.
Okay.
Um,
So let's see.
it's right about time for me to take on a new real estate client. So that would be kind of cool. See, I have my little real estate card right here. Isn't that cute? Can you see it? There we go. That's me. Anyway, see that purple door? If you're looking for a magical house, I know this is like totally. Did you ever see that? See, this is my favorite thing. Joe looked back over, so I was going to show it to you. Joe. You've seen my cards before. Anyway, it's about the right time for me to have another one. So sell a house
Okay.
to the right client. Oh, I like that.
All right. We want to sell the house to the right client.
Right. Well,
So,
yeah, because I just take on like one client at a time, generally speaking. So it not
all
being
right.
a full-time job and
So
all.
we have, and once again, this is the basic practice. Once you actually start to move through it a little bit more, and I'll show you the last example and where I've actually gotten through this practice. Okay, so you want to sell, sell a.
Do you usually use capital letters when you're doing this?
It's just kind of a personal preference. So,
Okay.
you don't necessarily have
I had
to.
that question. Someone else will have that question.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. I mean, that's just kind of a personal preference. So, let's see. To E. Right. And then do we have I? No, we do not. G. Clown. C. Okay. All right. So we have the letters. We have SELAHOUTRIGCN. Now, some people like to take out the vowels. I figure it's like in cooking. You add more ingredients, why not? As long as they play well together, then it's fine, you know?
that makes sense.
So, all right. So what we're going to do for this one, all right, we have several letters that curve. So I'm going to start this one with a curve. All right, so that's the S. We can also use that as the U or as the R. Let's go ahead and put a line between that right here. All right. So as a base, we put the N right there. We got the T already covered. We've got the I already covered. We've got the H. pretty much already covered here. We can add a little bit right there. All the curves are already there. So once again, this is just like a little thing that I like to do, just for a little decorative purpose. Put a little dot right there, little dot right there, little dot over here. And there you go. The more you practice, the more these actually begin to take shape on their own, and the more effective they'll become when you're not focusing on the actual message. You can focus on the message when you're creating it.
I like
That'll
yours
make it
better
easy.
than mine.
We'll see. We'll see in a moment. So let's see. Alrighty. I mean, that, you know what, that works. That works. And I mean, the idea here, the idea.
I see how you're doing it, and my mind isn't going there, which is why I can learn this. This is, you guys, you got to know, like, I haven't done sigils. I've done like a little bit of runes and things like that, but yeah.
Right. So that's kind of the idea with these. So you just kind of take that intention, and this is the beginning practice to it. Just designing them, and it doesn't matter, honestly, it doesn't, they don't have to look pretty, they don't have to look super artistic, as long as you have that intention put in.
And Joe, let me ask you something here.
Sure, go ahead.
Because I think this is a question that people are going to have.
Sure.
When you've made this, and this is not as good. I like his better, but once I've made this and I have it, and this is the office that I do for, my multi-purpose office. Where would I put this? Like, someone comes in, would I plaster it to the wall or put it nicely in a drawer? Put it under where would you, my office, that if you were me, would you put it? And I'm gonna, and guys, I'm gonna do this too, because I really would like to do this. If I put this, say, under my Ganesh altar over here, where would you put it if you were me?
I mean, honestly, that would be a good place. If you're gonna put it under Ganesh, or any kind of deity, I would suggest actually making sure that it's okay with that deity, whoever you're working with, to see if they're going to help you with that intention.
Yeah.
If you're not working with any particular deity, or if you feel like this is an independent work, you can do several things. You can display it. You can, like I said, you can fold it. You can fold it, have it tucked away somewhere. You can burn it. You can cast it out, into the universe, however you see fit. Whatever elements you work with, you can definitely put it out there to said elements. The idea, though, is that you allow the sigil, the symbol, to work its magic. So once you put it under a deity, once you burn it in a fire, put it in your cauldron, once you bury it in the ground, once you let it wash away in a river, in any body of water.
I have an ocean out there, guys. I could do that.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, exactly. Once you put it out there to the ocean. Although, if you're gonna work with the ocean, I would suggest, and I've done this many times, draw your sigil into the sand so that you're not adding any kind of contaminants. So
I like that.
That's the idea. That
don't use plastic,
Yeah, hopefully not.
Can make plastic sigil and then throw it out there. Yeah. So
yeah, one of the things that I used to do was that I would go down to the beach, um, go to where the tide is coming in,
Hmm.
create the sigil, and the wet sand. Uh, then I would stand back just where the water was going to reach my feet, because I still had a long way back, and I did not like walking with wet feet. Um, so I would stand back, meditate on it a little bit, and just let the water carry it away. So once you create your sigil in the sand, it's a beautiful practice, very, very therapeutic, very uplifting, very spiritual if you work with water. Um, to just let nature do its thing.
And
So
and what
you drop
about
into the sand.
I know a lot of people that do candle magic, so I would imagine sigils on the side of a big candle, you
Mhm.
know, drawn into a candle would also be something that you could do.
Oh yeah, that's something I've done on a couple of times, a couple of occasions as well. Uh, I mean, I've taken little, toothpicks, just kind of etched that sigil into the side of the candle, and then just let it kind of burn out. And you'd be surprised how many times you can let it go, and then you just look over at the candle, and it's already gone. So unless you're watching it like you're watching a pot of boiling water, uh, then it's going to become really, really tedious. So uh, it's a wondrous thing, just kind of etching it in there, putting in your intention, and then before you know it, if you just let it go, let it do its thing,
And if it and
that's what will happen.
for those people that go like, I don't know, candles, blah blah blah. There's safe places to burn candles. Fireplaces work
Mhm.
really good for candle. You can still put a little, thing in the fireplace or in a sink or a bathtub if you have pets and you're not going to watch it. You want to make sure nothing will fall on it and, create a problem. But a fireplace is a good thing, or even an
Mhm.
outdoor barbecue if you have no better place. Although waxing a barbecue can be
Yeah,
kind of, you don't
I
necessarily,
mean,
that will burn off the next use of your barbecue. And if it gets a little bonfire, don't put it in your microwave because, if you actually turn on your microwave with wax, it will light it up. And that's a whole nother thing. So don't do that.
yeah, yeah,
But,
yeah. We really don't want to do that, but
fun.
no, fire pits are always wonderful.
Mhm.
Um, if any of you participated in last year's community seed Samhain ritual,
Mhm.
you would have seen the little coins. They're given to the ferryman. I wonder who that guy was.
Oh,
Um,
I didn't know him. He looked
yeah,
very
I don't know.
different.
That guy was
Mhm.
weird. That's really, really weird.
Strange guy.
Um,
All dressed up in black or something, I think in a hood. Never mind.
um, but if you participated, you saw these little wooden coins that were actually decorated with sigils. Um, that actually, thankfully, was not a painstaking process, even though I will take credit that I actually created those.
Cool.
With our garage goblin, she actually helped quite a bit to create some of her own. But we created quite a few of those, and a lot of the ones that were imbued with people's energy were put into a chest. Those were put into a chest, and those were not touched. Those carried every single attendee's uh, intentions, that carried their sorrows, that carried their woes, anything that they wanted to put into those. What we did was the following day, those were taken down to the beach. They were taken to a fire pit, and they were cast in. And thankfully, we had a number of people that had attended the previous night's ritual. So it's wonderful that they were able to come in and really cast that new form of energy to really put out all of that back into the universe. It was transmuted. So in that case, it wasn't fully 100% an intention for the future. It was really kind of letting go of things of the past that had been really, really painful. So that kind of goes to show what can really be done with the sigils. It's just a matter of putting that intention out. So, um,
so basically, you can burn them, you can
Mhm.
float them out to sea, you can
You can bury them.
or you can
Uh-huh.
bury them. Can you eat them, chef? Have you ever eaten a sigil? Could you do a
I
sigil?
would not. I would not recommend it as far as. I mean, if your intention is to bring something in, if your intention is to bring something in, uh, then perhaps it can be put. Let's say if you're putting icing on a cake, if you're putting even ketchup on your
I had to
burger, if you want
ask.
to throw like a little, sigil in it to bring something else in, or you want to give thanks to, the being of nature that actually gave itself for your sustenance. Sure, you can actually do that.
Okay,
But again, I would recommend just being very, very careful with the intention that you're going to put in because
because you're
um,
going to be swallowing it if you eat it. Yeah.
it's going to stay with you. So if you're trying to put something out into universe, you really don't want to ingest it back in.
No,
So
probably not.
if
But
you
I have
want
to
to,
ask because you are a chef. Could you
right,
put a happy birthday sigil in on a happy birthday cake? Could you write happy birthday and then do a sigil with that?
absolutely,
There
absolutely,
you go.
you can do that. You can do that. If you want to bring well wishes to the recipient, if you want to bring, uh, any kind of fortune, even a little love magic, although we don't condone that. Uh, you know, you can bring that in as long as it's not harming anybody. Honestly, as long as you're not harming anybody else, then absolutely you can do that. Just as long as it's just with positive intention, and I mean that's really what we're about. That's really honestly what we're all about. Just bringing in the best for ourselves, the best for the people that we love, the best for our home, our nature, everything. So,
And even
and that's with
sorry,
that.
yeah, and even another thing too that we were talking about earlier before I signed on and before we went live is that um, for sure if we do the sort of this stuff for like the political stuff, this like
Mhm.
take our citrine, wear our protective sigils and do that kind of thing, that it's a really good, it's a good thing. So I mean, I would say for sure all of those things would be a good thing. So um, give me 1 second here. On video, I've got a call coming in now. Someone will call
I
back.
mean,
There we go.
that's honestly, I mean, that's kind of where we are with civil magic. Different intentions and different outcomes, of course. It's just how much energy you really put into it
And
when you're
and if
creating.
you and it's I think another name for I mean, I know a hex, and I'm not talking about hexing somebody, that they used to call them like hexes on roofs, that they were types of sigils to ward off evil spirits and stuff. They used to, I think that was also another name for some of the sigils. And
Mhm.
I think there are some sigils, not the ones you're doing here, that are like known sigils for certain things because they incorporate like certain things, but to make your own is always just wonderful. It was a great thing to do. And and with like, again, there's protests every day, and there's things that we're going and doing that are difficult or scary.
Mm-hmm.
Well, a protective sigil on your body might be good. Could you do something on your skin and let it wear away? The skin goes away, like a drawn
I
on
mean,
tattoo.
the best thing for that would be like the henna tattoos.
Yeah, or just even pen, because that goes away
That'd
too.
be perfect. I mean,
I don't think I'd
and,
permanently ink myself with a tattoo, but yeah.
I mean, our garage goblin loves to do little, doodles on the hands, on the arms. So yeah, that could be perfect. That'll work. Um, but again, if you want something that's going to be lasting a little bit longer, I definitely recommend like the henna tattoos. But yeah,
Yeah, those are great.
absolutely, absolutely,
Those
you
are
can
great.
draw the sigil on yourself. Um, I mean, even you can't really see it here. I'm gonna pan down a little bit. Uh, Here you see one of my favorite characters, and here's where I'm gonna nerd out a little bit. And I mean, this is a variant on the Captain America character. This is Captain Carter. So as you see, her shield is not exactly the Captain America shield that everybody's used to. This is more the British symbol. But the idea, the idea of that is pretty much the same. So can this be worn as a symbol for protection? Can you draw it upon yourself? Can you maybe put some intention into a particular design when you're going to go out before you go out for the day? Absolutely. So it's very versatile. So that's what I love about it. I didn't quite get into how I got into Sigil Magic. That's a whole different story. Um, but let's just say that that's the practice that I was charged with. If I was going to
And it's
be working,
very cool.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it was something that it came to me as a very difficult practice because I've never seen myself as like the very artistic type. But when the assignment came and who it came from, uh, it was more of a, oh, you're not going to question this. You're going to do it. You want to continue with your craft. You're going to do this. So I had to learn. I had to learn, and thankfully, uh, it's served me pretty well. And I mean, I love the fact that I'm here with you guys now. Kind of leaning back on my teacher days, but I'm able to show something that like is really, really meaningful. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this. I hope you guys liked this. If you have any questions at all, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to Gwen. You can reach out to the Witch's Craft. Hopefully, you will find this on YouTube very soon. Put your
You know
comments
what?
in
It
there.
should be there right now.
Perfect.
I
Excellent.
mean,
All right. So,
I think that it
yeah.
is. I couldn't get it to load for whatever reason to the Witches Craft Facebook page. It said
Mhm.
it does not qualify. Check back with us. I don't know why that is, but I don't. I have no idea. So I couldn't get it to load to that, but I was able to load it to the Avalon Vision page and then share it to the other pages associated with this. And then it is also, I believe, streaming live onto our YouTube channel.
All
So
right.
it should be up there. And yeah. So
All right. So yeah,
that's where it's at, baby.
give us a like, drop us some comments. Let us know what you guys would like us to cover. That would really help us out a lot.
And
If you guys have questions, if you guys are seasoned witches, if you guys are newbies, new witches, whatever you guys would like us to talk about, we'll do it. We'll do the best that we can.
And remember, some of us are just very magically inclined, and we're not going to go do the Harry Potter thing. We just want to go out and commune with nature, and we don't go, I'm going to pray to this god or that god, or dredge up Inanna on the way back. What's that? We'll all worship Aphrodite because she looks good in a nightie. Give me that old time religion. It's going to for me. I can remember that verse, and that's probably the only verse I can remember. But I had friends that had all kinds of verses. So I mean, we don't have to do that stuff. We could just be very magically inclined. There's all different levels of this, and as far as supplies go, if you're not in the Santa Cruz area and you're coming to visit, come and see me at my shop, Avalon Visions. And I'm in SoCal, SOQUEL. And if you're not, if you're not ever going to come to California, just visit us on AvalonVisionsProducts.com. And I guarantee you, I will see your order so you can put it in your comments. I saw you on this. And I'll be like, all right, I'll know. That way I'll know. So there's all kinds of different ways to, ask questions, and you can, email us, and, there's a link there. And we're also on it's on thewitchescraft.com. Yes.
All right.
Yes, we did that. So you can find it a lot of different ways.
All right. So tune in next week when we're going to go a little bit more on the tipsy side, or we're not going to get super into it, but we're going to do.
You know what? If I could broadcast from home, Joe, on that day, I would, because I sit here and watch. And I'm not a teetotaler. Are you going to do any Merlot? Is there going to be Merlot involved?
There can be no promises right now, but I'm pretty sure we can come up with different kind of concoctions. So next week we're going to be working on magical cocktails. So
I'm going to send you my favorite recipe and get your take on it.
That'll work. We'll make something magical with it.
It doesn't mean you have to use it. I'm just going to send it to you, and you can laugh away.
Sounds good. Now,
there is a banana involved, and I'm not going to say how.
Perfect.
Now, I'm not going to say how. That could let everybody think about that.
Even if you guys don't drink, we'll come up with some good mocktails that are really potent. As far as the magical sense, doesn't necessarily have to be alcohol. We'll come up with some really good potions, or just like I said, mocktails, and we'll take it from there. See what intentions. As a matter of fact, if you guys can give us your intentions in the comments, we'll go ahead and work with that and see what we can build according to what you guys tell us. All right. So we'll do that for you guys specifically. All right. So tune in next week for the Witch's Craft. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You guys got anything else for us? You know what? I just want to say cheers, because I know it's coming. And right, thanks, Joe.
We'll see you guys next week.
Take care. And we will talk later.